Hello, Assalamu alaikum. I hope that everybody is well. My name is Arslan Sarfar, and today's presentation will be discussing freedom of speech in Malaysia under federal constitution. And in this video, I will focus on how online speech restrictions, particularly under the section 233 of Communications and Multimedia Act, interact with the Article 10 of the federal constitution. Now we will discuss about the Article 10. Article 10 1A of the Federal Constitution guarantees Malaysian citizens' right to the freedom of speech and expression. However, this right is not absolute. Under Article 10 2A, Parliament is allowed to impose restrictions in interest of security, public order and morality. The key constitutional issue is not whether restrictions exist, but whether those restrictions are reasonable and proportionate or not. A major challenge to the freedom of speech today arises from the Section 233 of Communications and Multimedia Act 1998. This provision criminalizes online communication that is considered offensive, annoying, or menacing. This problem is that these terms are vague and subjective, allowing wide discretion in enforcement. As a result, individuals may avoid expressing lawful opinions online out of fear of investigation or prosecution. This creates what is known as chilling effect, where freedom of expression exists in theory, but practically it does not exist. The federal court addressed this concern in Sivarasa Rasiah, Badan, Peguam, Malaysia. In this case, court introduced the constitutional proportionality test. This test requires that any restriction on fundamental rights must pursue a legitimate objective, be necessary and suitable, and must not impair the rights more than required. Therefore, even if restriction aims to protect public order, it must be carefully tailored and not excessively limit freedom of the speech. The real-world impact of restrictive approaches to the speech can be seen in the Malaysiakini contempt case, where federal court held an online news portal liable for reader comments. Although case involved contempt of court, it demonstrated how media platforms may become overly cautious. This leads to the over-moderation, reduced public discussion, and weaker democratic debate on matters of the public interest. To the better balance of freedom of speech with public order, Malaysia should narrow the vague statutory wordings, strengthen judicial oversight, and prioritize non-criminal remedies for minor online harm. In conclusion, freedom of speech under Article 10 must be protected through proportionate and precise laws, ensuring democracy remains open, accountable, and resilient.